Hey guys, Nick Eilerman here. We're back with another video today, and this one we're going to go over the diesel heater. So we're in the Ford Transit camper van here, and if you watched in a previous video, we went over the electrical system, kind of how that's set up in this van. What we're going to do today is go over the diesel heater. So behind this box, which is basically the bench seat for the van, we've created a little wall here to where if you take 3 bolts out, you can open this up and then take this out, and then this allows you access to do maintenance on the diesel heater if you needed to. So what was fun about this is this is one of the first vans that I built, and I wanted to just test out the diesel heater. I've heard that these more inexpensive Chinese diesel heaters worked really well, and some people have had really good results, and they've lasted them quite a long time. And they're essentially kind of a knockoff of the S-Bar or Webasto diesel or gasoline fired heaters. And just to give you an example, the Webasto or S-Bar, they range from either $1,600 to $2,000 to $2,500, and this one right here I think cost me like $140. So there's a significant difference. That difference comes in obviously quality, the components, stuff like that. For example, this one would not be designed to be mounted underneath the vehicle or like in any type of place where it's going to see moisture or anything like that. So it's definitely going to have to be inside. These are typically designed to be mounted inside with a flange. I'll show you in a second where all the stuff happens outside for safety purposes. But there are some preheaters that are kind of like this same concept that are mounted underneath the vehicle. Some are to preheat, like Mercedes Sprinter's diesel versions. They preheat the engine so it can be started in very, very cold temperatures. But kind of going on a tangent there, let's get back to this. So I bought this one on Amazon, and I have a full video of this complete installation, start to finish. If you guys want to watch that, this one's just going to do basic overview of what it is, what it does, where it's located in the van, and then how it functions. So if I zoom out, you can see this is where the heater is located. And for anyone that doesn't know what this thing does, is it essentially has a line right here that is connected to a diesel tank. It could be connected to the vehicle's fuel tank. So if it's like a Sprinter diesel, you can take the diesel tank and then you can run it off of that. This van is gasoline, so it can run off of that. And for example, when we start putting this van together, we're going to do a gasoline fired heater that is plumbed into the tank. So you never have to worry about an external tank being filled or topped off. It's much, much safer. So get back over here. The way this works, fuel comes in this line, and then inside here, let's unscrew this. Inside here, take the cover off. Inside here you have a chamber, and what happens with this chamber is, think of it like as a mini jet engine. It's kind of how that works. So what happens is there's a glow plug or a way that ignites the fuel depending on gas or diesel, and then there's a fuel pump. And what this will do is inside this chamber, it will drip a certain amount of fuel, gas or diesel, and then when it drips it, it's ignited by either the glow plug or the igniter. That creates an explosion, and then the explosion obviously creates heat. So that's how it works. So you have this mini explosion that's going to happen, and it actually almost sounds like a jet engine when it's starting up. And then, so once that chamber has that drip and it's igniting and burning, this chamber is going to heat up, and then this fan over here is going to blow air across this chamber right here, and then these fins, and it's going to pick up that heat. It's going to come out through this vent around here and then come out this vent. And so it's extremely hot when it comes out. So we want to make sure that, you know, this is not touching anything. It's not touching any battery wires or anything like that. It does come with these little collars to where you can reroute additional vents if you wanted to. For example, I used to have a vent coming around here and coming out here, but when I put this whole entire inverter system in, I needed a way for air to kind of breathe in this battery box and move around. So this the hose got deleted that was here so that this system could go in. And you're probably asking yourself, well, you know, we got fire, gas, there's an explosion. It's like, you know, how do you not smell the fumes and exhaust in here? Like, how does that work? So the reason that this is safe to use inside is because we're only taking in air from inside the van. Right here is the air vent to the garage area. And then there's an opening back there. So air is going to come down, and through convection, it's going to come down, come through here. Cool air from the van is going to come through this vent. It's going to feed this, blow air over this, and then go back in. So this unit, it's closed to the outside. So that's why there's no air from outside coming in the van or exhaust from this unit coming in the van. It's completely sealed by a plate at the bottom. So I'm gonna go underneath the van and it'll make much more sense how that's taking place. As you guys can see, this is the diesel heater. So this is the bottom plate that comes with the unit. I sanded it down and repainted it with rust preventative again, just to make sure, because this is outside. It comes with all these fittings that you can use. And so I found a hole right here in the chassis, and that is allowing me to feed my fuel line down here and into this hose that goes into the unit. So think of this side, this is the intake side. We're intaking fuel, and then this is the air filter. And so this brings in fresh air only for the combustion chamber, not the van. It's completely separate. So this is air and fuel. The spark is in the combustion chamber, and that's how we get our flame to start heating the van. Once that combustion has taken place, this line right here is the exhaust. So the exhaust comes through here into this little tiny muffler and then out this tip. And you want to make sure that you have good clearance. I wanted like a low profile look, and I monitored and measured the temperature and everything. And there's so much surface area on this exhaust pipe that when it's really cold outside, it's like 30 degrees or 40, it cools that exhaust down really nice, so that by the time it gets out of this exhaust, there's no way that it's going to melt this plastic. And it's really not that close. You can see it's probably a hand, another hand, probably 2 hand widths apart. But this is where the exhaust comes out. And typically you would want this maybe on the opposite side of the vehicle where you don't have a sliding door. But I've never got any smells or anything like that in the vehicle. In fact, if we go to the back, of the van, you guys will see that this is where the diesel tank is. And you're saying, Nick, you have a diesel tank inside your van? Can't you smell that? You know, isn't that dangerous? So the 2 answers I have for you is this vent in here does not, I've never smelled diesel fuel. This tank is sealed up very well. Number 2, diesel is very stable, which means it takes a lot of heat in order to ignite it. That's why you have this thing called a glow plug in here. And that glow plug, it takes a while for that to actually heat the chamber up and to ignite the fuel. So when you turn it on, you actually have to wait a while until that gets hot enough to ignite the fuel, even though fuel is being pumped in there. So all in all, this is it's a very efficient system for heating the van. There's two models that you can buy. One is a 2,000 kilowatt version, and then one is like a 5,000 kilowatt version. Obviously, the higher number, the bigger unit, puts out more heat. And for any van, depending on where you want to go, like a low roof like this van, 2,000 kilowatt is plenty, very much overkill. Bigger van, high roof, you know, you can probably do with 5,000 watt, especially if you're doing cold winter camping. You're up in like Washington or, you know, Canada or something like that. And then the last thing we have is the control for this. And this is the this is the controller for the diesel heater. It's kind of funny because it's, let's see here, there you go. It's not the fanciest controller, but basically when you turn this on, it's going to tell you, you know, what the internal temperature of the room is, what you have the heater set for. And then down here, this shows your operation. It shows you if the fan's turning, if you got flow, if the glow plug is on, and then as well as if the fuel pump is on. And what many people will tell you is the fuel pump is loud. I mean, it sounds like somebody thumping on the floor, and that's going to be on the whole entire time you are using this. So what a lot of people like to do is mount the fuel pump externally underneath the vehicle, and that kind of gets rid of a little bit of the interior noise. And they do have, they call them silent fuel pumps, but those are not coming from the manufacturer. Those are kind of like a tweaked one that somebody made. And then another one that you might find on some other channels on YouTube is like an ultra quiet system that uses a different type of method to pump the fuel. However, it's kind of up to you to dial in the air fuel ratios, and that gets in a whole mess of things. Normally, customers are looking for a easy solution to set it, forget it, it turns on, it turns off. If I go to different altitude, the system will compensate for it. That's why those systems cost upward to $2,500 basically for the same type of system, is because it has all those components and circuitry and testing to enable it to change its air fuel ratio needs as you go up and down in altitude. But if you just a weekender, you're going to a campground, a park, or something like that, you're not too far from home, you just want to have some fun, these are a great way to go. I've been using this for about a year. I've had no problems. I'll tell you one thing. Being in a bed in a van and then waking up, it's chilly, and you turn on that diesel heater and that whole van is warmed up by the time you get out of bed, it's the best feeling on the planet, or it's one of them. So I hope this was a fun overview of the diesel heater, what it does, how it operates. This is the same thing for a gasoline-fired one as well. But yeah, hope this video was helpful to you, and I will see you guys in the next video.